beloved community as we build out this campaign. It'll take you just a few short minutes to complete the online survey, and the information you provide us will be invaluable as we do our part to hold folk accountable and amplify the voices of our people in this climate conversation. When you take the survey, you'll be automatically entered to win seats at our annual Black History Month luncheon, Thursday, February 29th. So, hit our website at KBLA 1580. Help us out by taking the short climate justice campaign survey, and you could be our guest at our annual Black History Month luncheon, Thursday, February 29th. Thank you in advance for your consideration and cooperation. At KBLA Talk 1580, we care about the community, we care about the climate. We care about the climate.
Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light, see the light.
Being in survival mode after being in a relationship with someone who is narcissistic is very common. This feeling, overwhelming, anxious feeling that you feel either after the relationship has ended, or even if you have to still deal with the person, whether it's someone you're co-parenting with or someone in your family, someone you just can't escape. It's very common to feel like you are in this survival mode and fight or flight mode constantly because of what you've been through. Since this person is very manipulative, very self-centered, extremely selfish, abused you in ways that you didn't really understand, whether it's emotional abuse, maybe even physical abuse, because of the things that you've gone through that I think sometimes we don't really realize had such an impact on how we feel. Like, we didn't even realize that we were in this constant heightened state of not knowing when the shoe was going to drop or not knowing what was going to happen next. And that causes your body to be trained to kind of live in that real chronic stress response. It's the unpredictable environment. It's not knowing what this person's going to do or say next. It's all of those things that when you're in those environments for long periods of time, it has a negative impact on you. The negative impact that it has is that you essentially went through trauma, and now you're learning how to deal with that trauma response that keeps coming up. A trauma response refers to the way...
Ladies and gentlemen, the VOR back in the building live. KBLA Talk 1580 in the heart of Leimert Park. You already know what it is. You already know what we're about to do. I want to get deep, right? Because we hear a lot of people say things like, everybody's saying the word trauma and turn it into a fad. Robin just said it. She's 100% correct. But a lot of people will say they're in survival mode in a relationship. And that's become kind of faddish. Can I tell you what survival mode is really? Survival mode, originally developed as a response to acute stress, has become a prevalent state of being within intimate relationships. On tonight's show, we're going to try to explore the purpose and meaning of living in survival mode within these types of relationships. We're going to draw inspiration from the metaphor of how impoverished communities extract the absolute best from the absolute least of what society and the environment can provide. By examining the questions posed, and we'll be referencing the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza, we're going to try to delve into the clinical, the philosophical, the psychological, and social aspects of survival mode in relationships. Now, let's just get deep, man. Let's just get deep. The brain chemistry behind survival mode originally served an important purpose. If we are in danger of being eaten by a tiger in the wild, we need an acute stress response if we are to survive. However, when the stress ends, our brains are supposed to return to normal. When that doesn't happen, you find yourself in survival mode. Can I just get with y'all for a second? Many of us are in survival mode because of how we think, because of what happened to us in the past. This is where the childhood trauma piece comes from. Many of us create a world. The way we look at the world puts us in survival mode because that's all we know. And when we're in survival mode, I will call it discount love. That's tonight's topic. Discount love, i.e. survival mode relationships. Can you get by on the, listen to what, can you get by on crumbs in intimate relationships? You know, I'm from the projects. You understand? Alton Park, Chattanooga, Tennessee. And boy, when you talk about for dinner, we had popcorn and hot sauce, hog head cheese and crackers, and we needed something heavy on our stomachs, and baked potatoes. That was dinner. Getting by on the bare minimum. That's diet love. And I want to point out, sometimes we put ourselves in these positions to experience diet love based on how we think, based on what is our normal, based on our perspective and how we see the world. Diet love, i.e. survival mode. Ooh, you get discounted love / relationships when you discount yourself. Survival means, in my opinion, waiting or holding on. Because when we were in the projects, that's all we thought about was, what is the rest of the world like? I can't wait until we get out of here. It was just like this prolonged holding on. Kind of like that old hymnal, we shall overcome. When will we overcome? Sometimes being in survival mode has that kind of feeling, right? I've got questions. I want you to get to your phone lines. This is a non-judgmental conversation, and of course I want people to jump in and share their thoughts and experiences with me, especially my friends and family here in Los Angeles. The number to dial is 1-800-920-1580. How does living in survival mode affect the dynamics of intimate relationships? What are the common signs that a relationship is operating in survival mode? How does brain chemistry, uh, you know, actually bring about survival mode, and what is its impact on our ability to connect with our partners? Can a relationship thrive if both partners are in survival mode? How does the fear of scarcity influence our behavior in intimate relationships? What are some strategies for cultivating a sense of abundance and security within a survival mode relationship? Is that even possible? 1 800 920 1580. 1 800 920 1580. I want to hear from you tonight. What or how does the concept of discount love manifest in survival mode relationships? We got questions. I want to bring you guys in. Let's talk about it tonight.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Climate is king.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that caring for the community means caring about the climate. You might have heard that we announced a pretty bold 12-month, $2 million campaign to do 4 things. Increase climate literacy, turn up the volume on communities of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
It's game day at Jim's house, and the spread is impressive.
Mike's already done some damage with the hot wings, and now he's dropping back and going deep for another slice of pizza.
I sure hope he brought the Pepto.
Mike knows that Pepto-Bismol provides fast 5-symptom relief from unexpected stomach upsets. He's no rookie.
The way he's throwing back those nachos, he's the GOAT.
Be ready for game day with Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
I am Rachel McLeod. I'm a licensed clinical social worker and emotional wellness coach. And today I want to talk to you about the topic of living most of your life in a survival state. And this is something I hear a lot from clients. This is, gosh, more real than we give credit to. And it's a huge challenge, and this is a very painful situation that many people are learning to cope with and are thriving in many areas of their life, except for some of the most important areas, which is how they're treating themselves, their self-talk, how they're treating their loved ones, how their ability to connect or not connect. And a lot of this has to do with living in a survival state. And I really want to talk about that because, gosh, this is something my clients are talking about when why they're choosing to work with me. This is something that people are saying all the time, and I want you to understand that brains are functioning much different in a survival state than it is in a regulated, restful, safe state. The brain function is entirely different. And so, if you're in a survival state, you're going to be in a state of some level of fight, flight, freeze, faint, or fawn. And this is just something that you stay in, that may be a very light level, or maybe you might be somebody that everybody knows, hey, walk on eggshells around them because they get really mad, or they get. This is also the case when people who have habits and patterns of oversleeping, right? Or others who are manipulating others, or who are being passive aggressive, and that's their way of being. This is a lot about a dysregulated nervous system, and that also means someone who's living in a survival state of some kind and cannot shift out. And at some level, this stuff is running. And this also is happening when you find people who have to have lots of stimulation. They have to have the radio on, they have to have the TV on, they have to have their app on, they have to be scrolling, they have to be doing multiple things at the same time just to get some peace and quiet in their mind, which you would think is opposite, right? But they know they've learned the trick.
Ladies and gentlemen, the VOR back in the building. We've come full circle after having come forward live on KBLA Talk 1580 AM. The reason why I like bringing these types of discussions to this platform is because a lot of folk don't even think all of this is tied into relating. They think, hey, you know what? You know what would be a nice thing to do? Let's go to the hip hop museum and hang out and chill. And then afterwards, let's go get something to eat. Yay. Listen, relationships are far more spiritual than they are social. The social is the seasoning. The spiritual is the meat. That is the entree of why you guys like each other, attracted to each other, spend time with each other. There are lessons that are to be had. And this is why I have these types of conversations, because I know most people don't understand regulating their emotions or getting their nervous system to calm down. Relax, bring some peace into you. I was one of those folks. I ain't gonna lie. You just don't know how much is involved in relating. And I would surmise that quite a few of us are in a survival mode type of relationship, or experiencing some variation of diet love. Attila Phillips says you can't regulate when you're disassociated. You better, come on. Living in survival mode and prioritizing self-care, right? Living in survival mode can significantly impact our ability to prioritize self-care within a relationship. When consumed by the constant need to survive, individuals may neglect their own well-being, leading to emotional and physical exhaustion. The focus on immediate survival can overshadow the importance of nurturing oneself and maintaining a healthy balance within the relationship. Sometimes you're in survival mode when you got to pick and choose your peace and quiet or the harmony in the relationship. And of course, sometimes you have to pick yourself. Many times you have to pick yourself. But if you pick yourself every time, what does that do to the relationship? Oh, this is interesting stuff. Hey, Ed from South Central, get in here. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Brother Zoe Williams, hey man, once again, you're hitting that out the park with the trauma that a lot of us are willing to bring into our relationships, brother. I already shared my show to my youngin', because a lot of times it's no surprise that a gangster boo what a gangster dude. You feel me? And it's and look, I'm gonna land my plane here because it took me 50-some years to figure out. You know what? It's about faith, respect. The great pimp Sugar Free once said, I won't knock a pork chop off your plate if you won't knock one off of mine. That is the energy a lot of these young people don't even understand. They just know there's been trauma heaped on them, and they looking for somebody to save them, and in essence, they bring in a whole bunch of baggage that they about to heap on you. Man, you hitting it on the head tonight, brother.
Brother, man, I appreciate you. Guess what you just did? Ed.
Yeah, go ahead.
I said, guess what you just did, Ed?
What did I just do?
You just brought South Central in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call us at 1-800-920-1580. Survival mode, relationships, and personal growth. Survival mode relationships have the potential to lead to personal growth and transformation. When faced with adversity, individuals may develop resilience, adaptability, and resourcefulness. The challenges encountered within a survival mode relationship can serve as the catalyst for personal growth, right? Pushing individuals to overcome their limitations and also, maybe pushing them to a point where they can discover some new strength, right? No pain, no gain is what the weightlifters always said. And sometimes you got to push that muscle till muscle failure. And when you do that, the muscle heals again. But once it heals, it actually gets stronger. No pain, no gain. But I don't think anyone should stay stuck in a survival mode relationship. Like it's a brain activity, survival mode, right? You're going to get cortisol released in the brain. Like everything gets heightened. You can't stay in that space, right? You just can't stay in that space. And I think relationships are a perfect example. Yes, you can use this survival mode for a moment and say, all right, let me get my stuff together. Let me refocus. Let me rebuild. Let me get back. But after you get back, you can't maintain, that survival mode mentality. And it's probably hard to do because, we get a little addicted to the chemicals that come from our brains. We love it. And sometimes we might put ourselves in a situation to constantly experience that high. Somebody called it, Truemonger called it relationship cocaine. I understand. Hey, Attila, Houston, Texas, get in here and talk to me.
Uncle Zoe, I didn't realize it was going to be that fast.
Well,
man, I ain't even have to write no notes.
It's gonna be really fast because you up against the clock.
All right, so real quick.
Here we go.
Okay, so I said that it is hard to regulate when you are dissociated, right? So you know how they used to have the term multiple personality disorder, which has since been changed into dissociative identity disorder.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because they figured out that your personality does not have multiple parts. It's just that you have one personality that's been fragmented. And I think that's what happens when we're in survival mode for too long. So what does that look like in your relationship? You show up fragmented in your relationship. So your partner can only really get pieces and shards and fragments of you because you don't have a full contained self identity.
Go deeper. That's, whoa. I think that's everybody, though.
Yes. I personally, I don't really think we can live in this world, in this matrix, and not have some piece of that, right? Because, you know, social media even kind of sets it up that way. That's why your life looks so much grander and filtered and all of that through social media than it does in real life, right?
Haven't you experienced somebody in a relationship and they got to a point where they were so different and you were like, who are you? It's an entirely different somebody else, right? Or at one point they loved you like crazy, but then at another point it's almost like that love never existed and they could just be an entirely different. Isn't that interesting?
Right. So then I have to ask myself, who am I? And where did the love for myself go? Is the love for myself conditional? Is the love for myself fleeting? Does it come some days and go others? Because I guarantee you in each of those situations, that's exactly what was going on with me.
Hold on tight. When we come forward, we going back to Houston, Texas, because the girl is cooking.
Hard times are coming to your town. So stay alert. Don't let them get you down. They tell you times are tough. You hear that times are hard. But when you work for that ace, you know you pull the right card. Hard times. Got my pockets all in change. I tell you what, oh boy, it don't have my brain.
He's on fire tonight. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Baltimore City is closer to having local control of its police department instead of it being a state agency. Mayor Brandon Scott, who is black, has signed 2 city council bills that will embed the BPD into the city's charter and code. There are 2 more hurdles to cross before the city can have full control of the police department. The General Assembly must remove a section of the city charter, and voters must approve the ballot measure in the November election. Preparations continue in advance of the upcoming trial of 4 Memphis police officers charged with being responsible for the death of Tyree Nichols in 2023. The latest controversy includes attorneys arguing about expert testimony scheduled without proper notice or disclosure of the list of experts. The judge is giving those involved until the end of the month to disclose the information. The trial against 4 of the 5 officers accused in the death of Nichols, who is black, is scheduled to begin on May 6th. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Shop the closeout event at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $100 when you spend $999 or more on all major appliances. Valid 1/4/24 to 1/24/24. Selection varies by location while supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
We all agree that America has a very serious problem.
Okay, KBLA delegation, we need your help as we launch our 2024 Climate Justice Campaign. We would deeply appreciate you going to our KBLA 1580 website and filling out a short climate justice survey, which will help us better serve our beloved community as we build out this campaign. It'll take you just a few short minutes to complete the online survey, and the information you provide us will be invaluable as we do our part to hold folk accountable and amplify the voices of our people in this climate conversation. When you take the survey, you'll be automatically entered to win seats at our annual Black History Month luncheon, Thursday, February 29th. So, hit our website at KBLA 1580. Help us out by taking the short climate justice campaign survey, and you could be our guest at our annual Black History Month luncheon, Thursday, February 29th. Thank you in advance for your consideration and cooperation. At KBLA Talk 1580, we care about the community, we care about the climate.
What's up? I'm Danelle Riley, FAMU alumni and creator of the HBCU Culture Shop. I am so proud of my new partnership with Black Beyond Measure and Target. They help me elevate community pride with my HBCU designs and continue to support Black creators and entrepreneurs with Target HBCU challenges, scholarship programs, and campus collaborations. Let's come together this homecoming season and beyond. Shop my brand and discover other Black-owned products at target.com/BlackBeyondMeasure.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
Around here, we don't believe in victimhood. We believe in raising our voices, amplifying Black voices in the climate conversation. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in one wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA reminds you that when we fight, we win, and we don't black down. LA Community Action Network, or LA CAN, was formed in 1999 when 25 residents of downtown LA came together and acknowledged the problems that existed in their community and made a commitment to do something about those problems, to stand together, organize, and become a force in the community that demands change. Civil rights and preventing the criminalization of poverty are their core projects. In addition, they take on women's rights, the human right to housing, and healthy food access. LA CAN also has projects focused on economic development, civic participation, voter engagement, and community media. While downtown LA remains their home base, with a particular emphasis on the Skid Row community, in 2007, they expanded their housing and healthy food access work into South Central Los Angeles. LA CAN believes that power for low-income people and people of color is achieved through a large, active, and well-informed member base that utilizes a multitude of methods to advance their messages and goals. If you'd like to join the Los Angeles Community Action Network and organize people to fight back against oppression, please visit cangress.org. That's cangress.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Just had a fight with my woman over something trivial told. We rarely have confrontation, and if the I said really was bold, I think she get it from my mama. Her bitterness passed down from old. When I'm calling out her drama, she too defensive to listen, I'll call so. Looking at, I got problems. You got the type of advice that I need. I couldn't get through on the mention series. Dana was hogging up the time that I need. Between working or being so clingy, plus the time zone difference don't make it more easy. Oh, so I figured I'd call in early. Turn my life down, mercy, I got through. You tuned in, yeah, yeah. Voice of Reason's the show. Yeah, yeah. Voice of Reason's the show. So just lay back your mind. Something new. Everybody tuning in to soul. Cause he is the voice of reason, yeah.
So, very first sign is you are having a hard time relaxing and winding down. And it's hard to just sit still without some form of stimulation. This is a really common space that people get into when they're always in this survival mode, where it's like they can't properly wind down and just be. And they always are like, I see people like always escaping into things. It's like the phone escaping into, the television has to be on, and often trying to like multitask at once, or not being able to just like sit for a moment and like be with your emotions and be with your thoughts and be with your body and just like be with yourself. So this is a really clear sign that we're more like overstimulated and usually just have a subconscious comfort zone around being in sympathetic nervous system mode more often. And keep in mind too, like sympathetic nervous system mode is like, we are in fight or flight mode, sometimes freeze or fawn mode. And we are not like, there's massive impacts on like our immune system, on our ability to like be in rest and digest mode, properly repair at our body at the cellular level. Like there are tremendous implications to being stuck in sympathetic nervous system mode for too long, not just mentally, emotionally, but also physically. The second major sign that you're living in survival mode is you find yourself overly reactive to small things. Usually we become overly reactive to small things because there's big things in the background that we're not properly addressing. And so this could be that we have hugely unmet needs. It could be that, we are feeling triggered on a regular basis. We're feeling overwhelmed in our life. We're teetering on the brink of burnout all the time. And so, the moment something comes into our lives, it may seem small from an objective point of view, but from the internal point of view, it's the straw that broke the camel's back. And, it feels like the world's crashing down because, there's so much going on for that person on throughout their daily life, essentially. Number 3, this is a really interesting one. It feels like, this isn't coming up very well. Everything feels like you're rushing. It feels like literally everything is just like, hurry, 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 go, go, go.
Ladies and gentlemen, boy, was that Thais? That's Thais Gibson, right? Hey, man, I like her channel. On YouTube, check her out, man. I like her channel. She breaks down the attachment styles and she offers all types of workshops. Zoe gonna get the information everywhere. I read so much, it ain't even funny. I just be reading just to be reading. Let me get a book right now. I'll read to you right now. But I'm saying, Thais Gibson, she's very on point with her information. And she just talked about what I was saying. Like, you can't stay stuck in survival mode in a relationship. It's going to wreak havoc on everything around you and your partner as well. And survival, let me just say this. I'm not going to say survival mode makes you selfish. Survival mode, I am not going to say it makes you a narcissist, but I will say survival mode makes you self-centered. Because you're in survival mode, for Christ's sake. You're trying to live to the next moment. And it's hard to be in a relationship with someone in that mindset. Heavy stuff. Let's get Attila back in here. Attila, get in here.
Yes, Uncle Joe. Okay, so to me, she really just explained what I was saying previously. That's the fragmentation piece, right? I'll say this, even if the person's heart is with you, they're really, really into you, and they really do want to invest in you, they can't. How do I do that? Like, Mimi even made a comment in the chat. Let me see. She said, I get that we sometimes go into survival mode, but we can also have peace too. I agree, but that takes a lot of mindfulness. Are you that mindful? Like, can you even do that for yourself if you need to, right? And so if you're involving another individual, I think that kind of compounds the problem and makes it even more difficult. So yeah.
I love guess what you just did, child?
I brought Houston in the building.
You brought Houston, Texas in the building. I love it when my little sister call in. She's always swinging for the fences. We appreciate the call. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call us at 1-800-920-1580. And to speak to what she was saying, of course, I cannot go a show without mentioning, who am I about to mention, Andy? Andy, who am I about to mention? It seems like I can't go a show without mentioning. Who am I about to mention?
Jiddu Krishnamurti.
You better believe it. There's no way I can do this show without talking about Jiddu Krishnamurti. Boy, I love me some Jiddu Krishnamurti. Now, this is what he says about psychological fragmentation. A mind that is divided itself, that lives in fragments, obviously can't love. Division implies sorrow. It is the root cause of sorrow. Division between you and me, we and they, the black, the white, the brown, and so on. He's talking about psychological fragmentation and how it is an impediment to actually loving. This is why I said it doesn't make you a narcissist, but it does make you a bit self-centered to where you are the priority. Listen, you can't be the priority in a relationship. We have to be a priority if we're going to call it a relationship. A mind that is divided in itself, that thrives in fragments, obviously cannot love. Division implies sorrow, or as the Buddhists would say, dukkha, bad space. The reason why it's bad space is because you only got space for yourself, for your petty little wants and desires. Yes, they're petty. Because when you start when you peel the onion back, you go, oh, okay, you neglected to hug yourself. You neglected to love yourself. You neglected to honor yourself, respect yourself, approve of yourself. Heavy stuff, right? Sheesh. We got a caller on the line. Reggie, Austin, Texas. Get in here.
Man, I can remember trauma a little bit differently. I never had a problem with the event that caused the trauma. The trauma for me was when I had to deal with everything by myself. And the response to the event made it traumatic for me because I felt like it was nobody else I could call on but myself. Like it was nobody else I could lean on because nobody was going through what I was going through. That was the illusion of trauma. It makes you think that you're the only one going through this.
Wait, stop, because that's just too heavy for you to keep talking. What he said was, that was the illusion of trauma. Yeah. That is such a... Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry, because you just flowed right past it, and it's just too profound to do that. Go ahead.
And the illusion is like a mirage. You think it's one thing, and it turns out to be something else, and you put all your energy into the response to the trauma, and you don't put your energy where it belongs. And so when you were saying that it's self-centered, I get that. But I look at it as being imbalanced. Because sometimes you have to look at yourself. But you can't stay on yourself, but you have to look at yourself. And for me, when I was dealing with the worst events of my life, I felt like I was the only one dealing with it. And that was totally incorrect.
Right.
Everybody's dealing with something. Large or small, everybody's dealing with something. And I don't have to deal with anything by myself. Like, I'm sure somebody else is going through what I'm going through right now, be it with my health or be it with my relationships or be it with my job or whatever it is. Somebody else is going through it, and you're part of a community, like the community of this radio show. It's a community. We all are going through something, and we all are dealing with something. But if you look at it in the long run, not just your small thing, but look at it larger, you can see, okay, we can get out of this thing. And it's a way of escape out of this.
Because
you know what I'm saying?
Because we're interrelated.
Absolutely.
See,
absolutely.
You said it so powerfully, right? You said, we're thinking about us and how we get out, or how I get out of it. We're thinking about ourselves, right? And from that trauma, it creates this whole illusory kind of perspective, like, oh my God, I'm doing this by myself. But then when you take a step back, if you have the capacity to do so, when you take a step back, you can recognize that, yo, what I'm going through is related to others, because I'm
Right.
going through it. It's affecting them. Their effect. You see what I'm saying? Like there's a
Yeah.
web. There's a ripple effect that's created by what you're going through. And oftentimes,
Mhm.
because it hurts, all we could do is focus on our pain, right?
Right. And that's the issue. I mean, what affects one directly affects all indirectly.
Ooh, okay, hold tight. Hold tight. Reggie from Austin, Texas is up in here cooking. When we come forward, I got to go back. He's got to dig deeper on that one. That was heavy.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
City of Los Angeles landlords that own rent-controlled properties, starting February 1st, you'll be able to increase rents by 4% for your rent-controlled properties. An extra 1% per utility, up to 6%, can be added only if you pay the entire gas and electric bill. And don't forget to give your tenant an advanced 30-day written notice for rent increases of less than 10%. It is state law. Learn more about the rent increase at housing.lacity.org. That's housing.lacity.org.
Cover California is a free service from the state that's already helped millions of people like you get and pay for health insurance. With financial help to lower the cost of health coverage, you could get a quality health plan for less than $10 a month. Every plan covers preventive care, doctor visits, emergency care, and more. If you have questions, we're here to help every step of the way. Cover California, this way to health insurance. Enroll by January 31st at coveredca.com.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? Because no two people sleep the same. Only the Sleep Number smart bed lets you each choose your individual firmness and comfort, your Sleep Number setting. The Climate 360 smart bed is so smart it actively cools or warms up to 13 degrees on either side for your ideal sleep temperature. The Queen Sleep Number C2 smart bed is now only $9.90. Plus, free home delivery when you add any base. Ends Monday. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. Pro Football Hall of Famer and urban peace pioneer Jim Brown believed in just that. So he founded the Amera I Can Foundation for Social Change in 1988, focusing on at-risk and high-risk youth in underserved schools and juvenile detention facilities, as well as adult incarceration and reentry initiatives. The core of the Amera I Can program is its 15-chapter life skills curriculum. Mastery of these skills allows individuals to meet their academic potential, conform their behavior to acceptable societal standards, and improve the quality of their lives by equipping them with what they need to confidently and successfully contribute to society. Today, the foundation is led by its president, Monique Brown, who has been actively involved in the organization for more than 25 years. The Amera I Can Foundation continues its work in memory of its founder, actor, philanthropist, and NFL legend Jim Brown. To get involved or make a donation, please visit AmeriICanCommunity.partners. That's AmeriICanCommunity.partners. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Only God can judge me. That right? Only God, baby. Nobody else. All you other motherfuckers, get out my business. Ready? Perhaps I was blind to the facts. Stabbed in the back, I couldn't trust my own homies. Just a bunch of dirty rats. Will I succeed? Paranoid from the weed. And hocus pocus, try to focus, but I can't see. And in my mind, I'm a blind man doing time. Look to my future, cause my past is all behind me. Is it a crime to fight for what fine, everybody's dying. Tell me what's the use in trying? I've been trapped since birth. Cautious, cause I'm cursed. And fantasies of my family in the hearse. And they say it's the white man I should fear. But it's my own kind doing all the killing here. I can't lie, ain't no love.
Ladies and gentlemen, the VOR has returned. My playlist is my co-host. Can you imagine if you have this kind of mentality in your relationship? Listen to his lyrics. The great Tupac. I put together a cold playlist tonight to exemplify what it sounds like to be in survival mode. We started with Run DMC's Hard Times. And of course, that was the legendary Tupac, Only God Can Judge Me. Imagine if you walking around your relationship with the spirit of this kind of emotion, this kind of perspective. Of course, your partner will be walking on eggshells, man. This is diet love. Love is about freedom. I need you to understand that. Love is about freedom, right? The freedom to be yourself. Can I be honest with you guys? People don't want to hear this, but I must be totally transparent with you. Freedom has nothing to do with safety. Because we don't have freedom and we live in a fear-based society, safety has now become the number one good quality for a relationship. You need psychological safety. Why? Because everybody was born to a whip. That means everybody was prone to being hurt in some kind of way, and they carry that hurt into the relationship. And in order to relate, they must be safe. There must be safety. But that's going to put a cap on how deeply you can feel, how deeply you can access the very thing that is synonymous with God, unconditional love. That's why the conditions matter. Oh, goodness. Let's get Reggie back in here because he was already cooking. Reggie, I need you, brother.
Man, everybody has a story to tell. And everybody's story is important and it needs to be heard. And so it's your job to listen to somebody else's story because you can learn something about your life that you don't have to learn by bumping your head. Right. The last thing I want to say is, man, it takes some courage to be transparent.
Ooh, keep going.
It takes and the transparency is a requirement for healing. You can't heal what you won't reveal. That's just real.
Well, write it down then. If you're going to rap, you might as well write it.
You crazy, man. But seriously, find an artistic way to share your story, and you can help somebody else in the process. You can help yourself, too. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not corny or whatever. It's a requirement for healing.
Right.
And, it's that important for us to do. So I hope we can continue with this show and continue sharing our viewpoints, and we'll end up better than we started.
Man, I appreciate you, brother. And guess what you just did?
Brought Austin in the building.
Austin, Texas is in the building. I love my brother Reggie. Every time he calls in, he drops jewels. Los Angeles. Get in here, JW.
Hey, how you doing, Zoe?
South Central in the building. What up, man?
Now, part right there. I didn't have a chance to call back last night in reference to emotional maturity conversation to finish my point, but just to tie this in, if you think about something, be able to have critical analysis and think critically in reference to being emotional mature. That's how you develop emotional maturity, for one thing. And in reference to your struggle love, struggle survival conversation in a relationship, I'm using another equation. Let's think about somebody trying to keep their head above water because of the flood, right? Or you're struggling to survive, right? They want to stay alive. And that way, they're going to run out of energy and they're going to burn themselves out and they get fed up. And if that's how a person stops loving another individual, they just get exhausted and burned out. And that's what made me call, because I believe you made that reference or somebody else did, the burnout part. But I wanted to make that comment. And plus, another thing is, you not being selfish or narcissistic, or something along those lines, or prideful or arrogant. It's more being we're being in touch with your spiritual nature or your spiritual being, and you're working on worldly nature or human nature, like they used to have that reference, no fool with mother nature, right? Or spiritual nature, which is primitive, it's primal, and it's animalistic, it's a lower nature, like I said before. Because spiritual nature is the divine, and that's universal, and it's outside the realm of earth or the world, and that makes it internal. And that's when you reach God's law and order and structure. Because the point is, when God honors a marriage in terms of a covenant, when you get married, He doesn't honor it until you confirmation when a man has relationship, especially with his wife, and penetrates her, and then you become one unit. So you should be one unit, and you can't afford to be selfish because you're one unit and not two separate individuals going in two separate directions. That's what they say about what's that word?
J-Dub. Hey, J-Dub, I got to carry you over, bro. I want you to finish your thought on the other side. J-W from South Central is over here cooking. When we come forward, we gonna start hour number 2 on fire.
I hear the doctor standing over me, screaming I can make it. Got a body full of bullet holes, laying here naked still. I can't breathe, something's evil in my IV. Cause every time I breathe, I think they're killing me. I'm having nightmares, homicidal fantasies. I wake up